Flying Lotus and Thundercat had two different ones on a song off of Cosmogramma. So I don't know if you know that album.
Two different ones?
Like downbeats.
Oh, okay.
So this is just kind of a cool thing. So in a recent sit down with Robert Glasper, he's got his Black Radio Backstage series. Thundercat told this story about how he and Flying Lotus made a whole song and had a different one, if you will, to the song Dance to the Pseudo Nymph.
Song called Dance of the Pseudo Nymph. There's some moments like in playing where if somebody does something that's like a bit over the bar or like a odd bar phrase, it may take a second to pick up, but this had gone way beyond those incomprehensive moments where you're like, hold on, keep playing it. I'm gonna pick it up. Give me a second. There's this phase of me and Lotus where we would just be sitting there staring at the screen, pressing space bar, going all over the place. You'd be doing 10 songs at once, all kind of stuff. And so this song, as it's being formed, you could hear the song. It starts with the percussion. It's just a shaker that's going on. In my mind, it was on 2 and 4.
Right.
I was like, and we would never question each other's authority. We would be like, password. He'd be like, you got it? What? And you're like, yeah, that's it. What? Password. This was that moment. This was us sitting there, and I remember being like, I know where you're going with this. Yeah. And I start playing, and there would be moments where I would just take certain things for a second, and then I would be like, okay, and then I would want you to be like, let's add some layers or something. Let's add something to it. And so as I'm adding stuff, it's like this weird stop and go that's happening where he starts, okay. And I'm like, okay, cool. As we're recording, I'm like this. If you could stopping the song, he's looking at me like, yeah, no, I just need you to, like I line it up. And I'm like, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And we get through the song, but there's no like conversation of any part of it. We were just like, like whatever. And then I remember we were playing Cosmogramma live and we were going over the song. And as soon as you count it off and I start, and Lotus would be like, it's me, Miguel, Lotus, Chris. Okay, now Lotus said, hey, no, okay, wait, start it over. And I'll be like, all right. And he'd be like, what are you doing, man? And I'd be like, well, what are you doing? Why do you keep stopping the fucking song? Start it over again.
Right.
And I'm like, in my mind, I wasn't drunk just yet, but I was like this is what we didn't address when we were working. Where are you counting 1 at? And he's like singing it, and I'm like this. I almost pass out because I couldn't even. What? I felt this was like some 𝐾𝐿. I wrote the song. I was like, what the hell are you?
𝐾𝐿.
What the fuck are we playing? I was like, hold on. And then I'm like, well, this is what I'm hearing. He was like, how? How are you hearing that? And I was like, this is either proof that we are both from another planet with this shit. Absolutely. Because that's a level of communication that is clearly not ours. Because how do we get through this whole song on 2 different ones? It was like some Nacho Libre shit. We were like this. I'm not a child. I'm not a child. I am not a child. Start the song over again.
I want to know.
That's crazy.
I want to know which ones were the ones for each one of them.
Yeah. We'd have to actually
because almost
we'd have to play the song.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have to go revisit
I'm
that
just trying to imagine, how are you still okay if I'm on the one and you're on the one? Are you hearing? Are you maybe on a 3? What are we hearing? Because we should be kind of in sync if we're both on the same one.
So I guess this is kind of a good piece that goes along with, like, if you know Flying Lotus and Thundercat's music, it's extremely intricate. And so, like, they're musicians, if you will. You know what I mean? And so, obviously, they're on the podcast with Robert Glasper as
Who's
well.
a musician's musician.
So,
Absolutely.
it's like, I don't know, I just thought that was, like, a super interesting thing of, like, 2 highly super skilled people that just... They both thought that they had a one, and they still created something crazy. But neither of them had the one.
He took the words when he said, "We're out of this world" or alien type stuff. That's the first thing I was going to say.
I was like, "This is alien music," and I've always thought that Flying Lotus made alien music. What's his name? Thundercat's the same way. His lyrics are like crazy. You could be listening to something real soulful and then listen to what he's talking about, and you be like, "This mother made a soulful ass song talking about a wave cat."
Man,
he's got a whole album called Drunk. So
sitting down and
I think that's the name of it, right?
Is that the name of the project?
No, it is called Drunk.
I think,
Sitting down, This blows my mind. I'm actually very intrigued I wish I could have been there for this, because playing with musicians in real time is a real thing. Lone knows that. And if there's two different ones and we're guessing back and forth, that's either going to be so confusing, or it's going to be the osmosis of it, or whatever you want to call it that he was describing, where it's going to work. There's only two options, because I would be super frustrated if that sounds frustrating just having him explain it, but it works.
Yeah, the song's called Dance of the Pseudo Nymph, if you want to look that up.
Yeah, so, I got to go look it up now. I have to go look that up.
But a lot of their stuff, like when stuff is a lot more intricate too, especially when there's a lot of syncopation, when there's a lot of percussion, sometimes, and especially if like the claps and whatever aren't happening on the typical 2s and 4s, or they're not happening on the typical places. It's like Radiohead does a lot of interesting stuff like this too. Like it can actually be very challenging. Like there can be stuff going on in the music that like the people listening have no idea that's happening. And so it's just crazy that it went like 3 years before they realized that they were.
That's going to make me run and go listen to that record. That was a dope video. I like that.
That's crazy, man.
So, yeah.